Well, people are still easily joining in. Our guest participant list is growing. Let's slowly start. So welcome everybody. So as every time, good morning, afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are connecting from. So really glad that you joined us again this week. And for just the housekeeping things, recording is in progress. The call will be recorded and later on posted to Microsoft Power Platform Germany YouTube channel. Also, for all the infos, everything what is happening around our user group, you can check it on our Stuttgart Power Platform user group meetup channel. So there you will find all the informations. Also, we are sending emails to all the members when something new is posted, either to a new meetup, either recordings afterwards to a YouTube channel. And welcome from my side, from Christian's side. So we are hosting you again here and trying to provide you the best experience we can, and also doing a lot of background work, trying to search for the best speakers for you to have the ability to listen to. And I'm really glad to announce that we are fully packed till the end of the year. So each and every Wednesday, except, I don't know, week between Christmas and New Year, is full. You can find all the details on a meetup page. So starting next week, Laura Graham-Brown will join us with Dataverse and Power BI. Then 10th of November, Abhinav about live datasets and data flow. Thomas Mertens on 17th of November with sharing and deep dive into sharing in Power BI. Then Chris Wagner with how to become a data god. If you came across his website, you will know what he's talking about. Then a member of Power BI CAT team, Michael Kowalski, will present best practice rules for tabular editor. So it will be a great add-on session to last week's session from Daniel Oettinger. And 15th of December, Alexander Aritson is with us with Untruthful Art and 5 Ways to Misrepresent the Data. So really a packed agenda. And as I said, here knowledge is free, but you have to pay attention and come and join the sessions. And also one thing which we are preparing in a backend and will be, I think, the best session this year, at least for our user group, is Christmas edition. So 22nd of December. So we will give a panel speech with a few really great Power BI world minds and giving a retrospective on 2021. What was it in Power BI world and what's the future outlook? So some Christmas presents also, so stay tuned. I will provide much more details about this year-end session soon. So stay tuned on our meetup page. And for today, not to take too much time, our main guest today is Pragati, and welcome. Thanks again for joining us and to having some time to present on Stuttgart User Group. And today's session is around advanced tricks with buttons and bookmarks in Power BI. Pragati, welcome and nice to have you.
Thanks. Thank you, Augustin, for the amazing welcome. Great to be here.
Stage is yours, so you can take it over whenever you are ready.
Cool. I'll just share my screen. Just let me know when you see the screen. Okay.
It's visible.
You can see the screen, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So welcome everyone. Today for my session on advanced tricks with button bookmarks in Power BI. And first of all, thank you, Augustin and Christian, for having me deliver this session for your amazing meetup group. So I'm quite happy to be here. And thanks for the audience who have just joined my session. So before we start the session, guys, the first thing I would like to give a little introduction about myself. So those who don't know me, my name is Pragati Jain and I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP. And if any of you guys are active on Microsoft Power BI community, you'll see me there as one of the super user helping people there with different Power BI related queries. Then I've got nearly 10 plus years of industry experience, and currently I'm working as a senior data analyst at Trustpilot here in London. One fun fact about me is I'm a painter and I just like to proudly call myself a techie artist. Then the other thing what I want to mention here is, like, if any of you guys want to connect with me on social media platform, then I have got my own blogging website, which is datavibe.co.uk. You can drop me a message there with any queries you have related to Power BI, or you can drop me a message even on LinkedIn and Twitter. And obviously I'm on Power BI community. So yeah, definitely drop me a message there if you've got any questions or queries related to Power BI. So now, before we start our session today, the first thing what I would like to show is what is the agenda for our today's session. So first thing, this is just a one slide all demo session. So I just have this slide on the deck. Rest everything I'll be showing you in Power BI. So in today's agenda, what I'll be doing is I'll be just covering few different scenarios where, you know, we can use button and bookmarks in pretty interactive way to just make the user experience amazing with the reports. Now, the agenda what I have laid out today, it has got multiple elements to it. So few of them are somewhere around the basic ones, but few of them are actually the advanced ones. So I'll try to start with something like basic and then go to advanced topics. So that will actually give people who are attending this session for the first time and haven't attended my basic session, at least some idea around how to create buttons, bookmarks in Power BI. And then we can, you know, go through the advanced topics using the same basics what we see. So yeah, without waiting any further, I'll just start with the session. Okay, so this is my Power BI file. And I've got it ready. So this is Power BI Desktop, who have already worked on it. You can recognize the interface. It's Power BI Desktop tool. It's a Windows tool. So what I have got here is I've already got data. So I'm not spending time in bringing the data and everything. I've just got the data here because in today's session, data is not that important, but more important is about the tips and tricks, or the tricks with buttons and bookmarks, which you can use, you know, just to enhance your reports. So it's a basic data set. I think the most famous data set, it's a adventure work database, which I actually got into a SQL Server, and then I connected Power BI to bring in just two tables from that database. So my first table is more around products. So it has got some details around products. So like all the characteristics related to the product. So for example, you can see there's a product name here. Then I've got like the color of the product. Then you can see like there is some standard cost, list price, size, and then weight. Then how many days it took to manufacture a product. So it's basically more around characteristics and features of a product. Then there's another table which I have got is product transaction table. So this is more about containing the transactional information around the products. So you can see there's a product ID, and then you can see different transaction dates around that product and what kind of cost was, you know, transacted for that product. So I won't be going into detail in the data because it's not required for the session. But yeah, I'll start cracking on with building the different tricks with buttons and bookmarks. Okay, so one thing is I'll be switching between my deck and Power BI report file just to make sure I am covering all the scenarios that I have laid out in today's agenda. So first thing what we'll start with is toggle between type of charts. Now, toggle between type of charts could be really helpful in the scenarios where there's a single information which can be represented in different ways. So for example, trends. You can represent trends as line chart, but in some scenarios, maybe bar chart can also work, right? So for that kind of stuff, you can actually use different kinds of toggling between the chart type for representing same information. Now, where the toggle functionality comes into picture, just imagine a scenario where you've got like, you know, so many charts on a single report page. And now you have suddenly got a requirement like to add another chart, but due to a lot of information on the single report page, you can't add another chart. So in those scenarios, this toggle functionality can really help, because this will actually help us in, creating two charts in the space of a single chart, or creating more than two charts in the space of a single chart. So let's just see how we can create, like a simple toggle chart type functionality. Now, when I say chart type, so basically I need three different kind of charts. So, OK, let me quickly show it to you as well, what I'm trying to represent here. So maybe it's easy to see and understand what I'll be showing. So for example, you can see on this, this is a different Power BI file where I've already, replicated these scenarios ready. So for example, I've got three icons here. One is bar chart, one is line chart, one is pie chart. OK, now suppose if I want to see our information, which is represented by bar chart. So you can see the total cost over time represented as a bar chart. But suppose if I want to see by line chart, then yeah, you can go and see the same information, total cost over time represented as a line chart. So that's the kind of toggle we'll try to create. So let's create those basic charts. So what I'll do is I'll just grab a simple clustered column chart, and I'll move from the product transaction table. What I'll do is I'll bring my transaction date on an axis, and I'll move the actual cost to the values. OK, now one thing I'll do here is I'll just like to keep my granularity only at a month year level. So I'll remove the quarter and day part of the date, and I'll just drill it down to the lowest granularity. So now you can see this is basically actual cost over time, right? Now let's create another chart where we'll represent the same information as a line chart. So for example, what I'll do is I'll just copy paste the same chart. So you can easily Control C and Control V on a Windows machine to copy paste the charts. And you can select the chart and just change it to a line chart. So that's where it changes to a line chart. And you can make things a little bit different as the chart type is different. So you can, that's OK. We can change some colors here. So like, for example, if I want to go with yellow, and here maybe on the top of the chart, I'll give a border, because I just like borders on the chart. So I keep on giving them. But yeah, it's up to you if you really want them. If you don't want them, it's fine. And this is my first chart. Now, suppose if I want another chart where I really want to see distribution of, cost by some maybe transaction type. So what I'll do is I'll just add another chart. OK, the size of the chart we'll fix in a minute. So what I'll do, I'll just create a third chart, which is say my pie chart. And what I'll represent here is I'll represent the actual cost. So that will go under my values. And I want to just, see its distribution by different, transaction types. So now there are three transaction types in my data, and I've just got a split for them. But yeah, let's not go into the data details, but let's just see how we represent this further. OK, so that's the pie chart. Now what we'll do is I'll also do one thing. I'll quickly change the titles. So I'll just put them with the bar, bar chart representation, because it's a bar chart representation. Then the second one is a line chart. I'll let you know why this is important sometimes in a second. That's line chart representation. And the third one will be my pie chart representation. OK, so that's my pie chart. OK, sorry about my spellings if I missed any alphabets there, but yeah. OK, so we have got three charts. Now what our task is, we want to put these charts in a space of a single chart and need to create some kind of toggle using different images or icons that represent. Sorry, did anyone say something? Sorry. OK. OK, so I was saying like now we want to create some kind of toggles using the images that represent the kind of chart types and create a toggle between them. So now for that, we'll use two main things in Power BI. Now, when you go under this view tab, there are two things. One is selection pane and one is bookmarks pane. OK, now bookmarks pane, obviously, when we want to create some kind of, interactions with the reports, then we can use bookmarks in collaboration with buttons to give that kind of functionality. And the second thing is selection pane. Selection pane is more helpful when we are, trying to give visibility to a chart. at a different state. So by visibility, I mean now, for example, on this report page, I've got 3 charts. You can see 3 names here, right? Bar chart, line chart, pie chart. Now, if you remember, I said it's good to have a better name to the charts. The reason is if the name of your charts are same, you don't know which chart represents what. So when you're trying to hide or adjust some visibility to these charts, it's hard. So always make sure your, titles are kind of self-explanatory, and it will make your life as well easier as a report developer. Now, what selection pane will do, suppose if I select this I for the bar chart representation, you'll see my bar chart is hidden. If I click that again, my bar chart is unhidden. So that's what we really want to achieve here. So basically, if I click on one of the images, say bar chart, which I showed you in the previous report, it should only show me the information that is represented as a bar chart, but hide my other 2 charts, which have information represented as line chart and pie chart, right? So that's why we'll use this selection pane. Now, one more thing, let's just bring on those 3 image icons here. So then we can start with creating bookmarks and, linking them with the buttons and just, create that toggle functionality. So for that, what you can do is go to insert, bring in some images. OK, so I've got these images already here. So I've got these images here. So I'll bring all the 3 images. So I've got the bar icon. Similarly, I'll quickly go and get my other 2 images as well. Line icon. That's my line icon. OK, and then the third one is my pie icon. OK, so I've got 3 of my icons here. OK, now the first thing I'll do is I'll make sure the size of my icons is same. OK, so for that, the simple thing is I'll just collapse them for now. You click on an image, you can easily see their size. OK, so this is 229, 169. This is OK. This is not same. So let's make them same. So they look good on the report because, make sure the sizes of your visuals are, same. Otherwise, they don't look good on the report. So I've got my 3 images, and what I'll do is I'll just give them same scaling property, which is fit, and I'll make them a little smaller as well. Oh, sorry about that. So what I'll do is I'll just make them a little smaller, and I'll just go and take the size again. OK, let's make them square. So 96, 96, this is again. So it's a quick trick you can do. There could be other ways, like you can drag and, maintain the size, but I just find it quick to do. So I just do it that way. OK, so I've got 3 of my images in place. Cool. Now, the next thing is we need to create or define a state for this page somehow so that, it just shows one chart, but hides the other 2 charts, right? So for that, we'll use the bookmark. Now, simple, those who have worked with bookmarks, you just simply add a bookmark here. Now, whenever I create bookmark, the first thing I do is I give them a proper name, because when you end up with so many bookmarks, then it's hard to understand what bookmark means what. So it's just my suggestion. Whenever create a bookmark, give them a proper name first. So in our case, we'll create the first bookmark for bar chart. So I give it bar chart. OK, now what I want this bar chart bookmark to do is when I click on it, it should only show the bar chart, but it should hide my line and pie, right? So what we'll do is we want a line and pie to be hidden. And this is the state where we want to see the information on the report page, right? So what I'll do is I'll just update the bookmark because this is what I want my bookmark to do, right? So just to test it, unhide your visuals, click on your bar chart bookmark. It only shows bar chart visual and hides the other 2. So it means your bookmark is done correctly. Similarly, we'll create other 2 bookmarks, one for line chart and one for pie chart. So again, we go to add bookmark, rename them. So this will be line chart. And here what I want to hide my bar chart and my pie chart. Now see, I have got the proper naming, so I can easily go and, hide whatever I want, right? So that's why make sure you name the things correctly. And in this case, I want to keep all my 3 images. That's why I'm not hiding them. So now this is the state I want my line chart bookmark to work. So I'll just update it. Similarly, we test it. So make sure whenever you create a bookmark, testing is the first thing you need to do. OK, don't wait for you created 10 bookmarks and then you start testing them. OK, so if anything goes wrong in those 10 bookmarks, it will be hard to identify, right? It will take you some time. So better create one, test one, create one, test one. So just follow that rule. So click on bar chart, shows bar chart. Click on line chart, shows line chart. Perfect. The last one, what we need to do is for pie chart. So we click on add. We rename the bookmark. So that's pie chart. And in pie chart, I want to hide bar chart and line chart. Just want to show the pie chart. And I'll just update it. Done. Let's just test it. So bar chart shows bar chart, line chart shows line chart, pie chart shows pie chart. Perfect. So we have got our bookmarks perfectly right in place. Now the only thing remaining here is the first thing remaining. Two things remaining here are the first thing is you need to link these images to these bookmarks. And the second thing is you need to align these charts on top of each other with the same sizing. OK, so the first thing what we'll do is we'll link these images to these bookmarks first. OK, so I'll just collapse this pane, open my visualization pane. OK, now when I click on my image icon for bar chart, it opens a format image. OK, now you see something like action here. If you enable the action, then under action, you get to select the type of action you want to define on this, image. So in our case, it is bookmark. There are other actions as well, but for our case, it is bookmark because we want to link a bar chart icon or image to the bar chart bookmark. So we just select bookmark. And in this case, I'll select bar chart. And yeah, if you want to give some tooltips like, select or click on the icon to view information as bar chart. I mean, you can write the tooltip however you want it to be. I'll just copy it. But yeah, if you don't want the tooltip, you can just select this no tooltip. So it won't give you any tooltips. But in this case, actually, we don't need a tooltip because images are self-explanatory, right? So let's not go with tooltips. So now we have linked this image with our bar chart bookmark. So let's test it, whether it's working or not. If you click on this, it's working. It's just showing you bar chart, right? So that works. Similarly, we'll do the same configuration for the other two image icons as well. So click on the line image, go to action, enable the action, select the type of action, which is bookmark, and then select the bookmark name, which is line chart for here. And I don't want any tooltips, so I'll just toggle off the tooltip stuff. And the same thing I'll do is for pie chart quickly. So click on the pie chart, enable the action, select the type as bookmark, and my bookmark name will be pie chart here, and I don't want tooltips. Perfect. Now let's just test this. OK, so for that, OK, so in Power BI Desktop, you use Control click to toggle the icon functionality. OK, so if you click on this, it's bar chart. If you click on this, it is line chart. If you click on it, it is pie chart. And obviously, you can add other charts here based on the icons you want. It could be waterfall chart, or you need any kind of stack charts, area charts. So you can go on doing however you want it to be. Now, the only step remaining here is we need to align these charts properly, right? Now, they seem to be of different size. So what I'll do is I'll make them of same size. So simple trick, we'll just go to their properties and see what sizes they have. So let's align this chart here, somewhere in the middle of the page. We go to its properties, formatting options, go to general. So its sizes 671338. Let's make it similar to everything. OK, this is same. And what I'll do, I'll just start putting them on top of each other. Similarly, I'll bring this here. This was 661, I think so. 338. Let me test that. 671338. OK, 671. The pie chart. And so now all the three chart sizes is same. So we can put them on top of each other. So that's how we are just using the space of one chart, but we have put like three charts behind each other, right? So that's how you can utilize that. And I'll just align these a little better so they look good on the report. And then, yeah, if you click on bar chart, it is bar chart. If you click on line chart, it is line chart. If you click on pie chart, it is pie chart. I know my pie chart is a little out of the way here, but yeah, I really wanted to show you that toggle functionality between chart types. So yeah, so that's how you can do that. So that's the first thing what I really wanted to show you guys. Any questions till here? Hey, no problem. Let's go to the next section.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on.
One. Yeah, when you clicked on the bookmark, like the format image option came for you, like it's not coming up for me.
Sorry, I don't click on the bookmark. I clicked on the image icon.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because
Right.
this is the image, right? So that's why you'll get a format image, right?
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, you need to click on
Yeah.
the image so you get that. Yeah, it's different for every other visual or chart type or every other element on the Power BI report. If you click on a bar chart, there's a different format options, right? But when you click on the images, there's a different formatting options. So yeah, cool. So the next step, the next scenario, what we want to say is dynamically modify the axis of the chart. Cool. So this is something what I really want to show you is something like this. So for example, again, we'll use the toggle functionality, but in a little bit different way. Okay. So like, for example, you can see on this tab, I've got a metric called total cost by product color. Okay. And if I click on by product name, I see the same metric by product name. So basically I'm toggling between the x-axis of a bar chart representing the same information. So if I click on product color, total cost by product color. If I click on product name, it is total cost by product name. So basically a changing x-axis. So we'll see how we can do this. Now, there are other ways of doing this as well, but I really wanted to keep it easy and simple and how we can achieve it using buttons and bookmarks. So that's why I'll go with this way of showing you by implementing this toggle functionality again. So let's go to a report. Go to this tab. So simple thing, we are going to toggle between two charts representing same metric by different x-axis, right? So we need two charts. So the first chart, what I'll make is, so it's the same thing what we did previously, but yeah, it's just good to have it, how this can be done. So the first thing here is on the x-axis, I'll get color. Okay, and I'll represent okay, standard cost. That's my total cost. Okay, so this chart is basically showing me, I'll just give it a proper title. So this is basically total cost by color. Okay, and we just give it a proper border quickly. Done. So that's the first chart we have got. Okay, now the second chart, what we really need to create is same information represented at a product name level. So standard cost by product name. So I'll just copy paste this chart. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll just change its axis. So in my case, now I have the axis as product name. Excuse me. Okay, so now I have like total cost represented by product name. So I'll just give it a proper title. So that's a second chart, and I'll just give it a different coloring so we can see the difference. Cool. So we have got our two charts. Now the only thing we need to implement is somehow give user a view like thing like, where they have two options like total cost by two different axis name. Now there is another way of doing it, which I'll show you in a different scenario in the other things what we'll cover in next few minutes. But yeah, this is a simple thing where we'll just create two buttons and we'll use the bookmark and selection pane in the same way we used in this process here. So what we'll do is first thing we'll create two buttons. So what I'll go to insert. I'll create two buttons. I'm creating a blank button, but you can create buttons of any shape now. So you can choose the relevant shape you want. So I'll click on my button, go to format button. First thing I'll do is give it a text. So in my case, this is by color, or I can give it like cost by color. Right. And I'll just give them little formatting functionality. So it just gives me, and yeah, you can play around with different formatting options as well, giving colors to your, buttons and yeah, but I'm not going into that right now. So we'll just go with the tricks. So this is basically cost by color button. And yeah, there's one more thing. You can even choose a shape for your button. Okay, so for example, let's choose pill shape. Okay, so that's our button. Let's just create another button. And that will be, in our case, it will be product name, right? Because other chart shows same information by product name. So it will be cost by product. And I'll just make it a little bigger because looks like it's small for the information. Okay, cool. So we have got these two buttons already here. Now, simple. We need to create some bookmarks to achieve the functionality and link those bookmarks to these buttons. Okay, so again, we go to a bookmarks pane, open our selection pane as well, because we'll be using that as well. And what we can do is the first thing we'll do is we'll create a bookmark. And the name of my bookmark in this case will be by color. And in by color bookmark, what I really want to achieve is if I click on that. Sorry, I can hear some background noise. If someone is, can someone mute themselves, please? Thank you. So when I click on this bookmark, it should only show me the chart which shows the total cost by color, right? So what I'll do is I'll hide the chart in the same way we did before, guys. Hide the chart by which shows the total cost by product name and which just shows the cost by color. And we'll update our bookmark. So let's just test it. Unhide it. When I click on by color, it shows me total cost by color and hides my total cost by product name. Same way, we'll create another bookmark, rename it first thing, and this will be by product name, right? Now in product name, I want to hide my chart total cost by color, but I want to show the total cost by product name, right? So that's what it is. So I'll just update it. And I'm showing both the buttons here, but you can also hide and hide the button in the same scenario if you want. So that's what our total cost by product name. So let's just test them. By color shows me, by color shows me total cost by color, by product name shows me total cost by product name. So in this, so basically you are just trying to, create an illusion for users that they are on the same chart, but the information changes by changing the x-axis. And yeah, I think to create that illusion, what you can actually do is don't change the color of your data points. I mean, keep them of the same color maybe. So that will just show them like you are doing things on the same chart. Right, so I think I chose a different color, but that's fine. Okay, now the only thing remaining is link these buttons to those bookmarks and put these charts on top of each other, right? So what I'll do is the first thing I'll do is put these two charts on top of each other and give them give these buttons some bookmarks. So I'll click on cost by color, format button option opens. I go to action, enable that. Now the type of action I want here is bookmark. And in my case, the bookmark will be by color. If you want to give tooltips, you can give a tooltip as well, like click here to see cost by color. That's the tooltip you want on the button. And the other one will be click on cost by product name. Again, go and enable the action. And the type will be bookmark again. Choose your bookmark name, which is product name, and put your tooltip there, and this will be product name. Okay. So when you click on this, now that's done. Now, if I click on cost by color, it shows me total cost by color. If I click on cost by product name, it shows me total cost by product name. So what I'll do is I'll just align these little more properly. So I'll bring them somewhere here, put these charts on top of each other, and maybe you can also, try to create them, give them like a slicer view. So you can put like a border here of a text so that every element is within that border. And then it just gives them like a selection of like checkbox kind of thing to the user. So that also works in this case. So yeah, so cost by color gives me total cost by color. Cost by product name gives me total cost by product name. So that's how, you can basically dynamically, modify the x-axis representing the same information. I know it's not dynamic that way, but it gives user a view that it is dynamic. So let's assume it is dynamic. Cool. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Okay, let's go to the next scenario. Now, the next thing what we want to cover here is interactive drill through functionality using buttons. Now in Power BI, Now I have already got this visual created here. Okay, so what this current visual is showing me is it's a simple table and it shows me some details around products. So how the product information is in the data, like I've got a product name. I've got different name categories against individual product. I've got their color, I've got how many days they took to manufacture, their standard cost, their list price, their weight. So it's like a summary table. Now I have a use case where I really want to see some details at a product name level. So if I drill into this or click into this, it should open up something new or, redirect me to a new tab where I can see a detailed information only around this particular selected product name. Now for that, in Power BI, there's a functionality called DrillThrough Buttons. So they are quite easy to do. So we'll just see how we can quickly implement it on a product name. So for that, first thing what you need is you need a summary table. You need a page which shows a detail level information. Okay, now in my case, I want a detail level information at a product name level. So what I did, I created a drill through page, product details. And if I show you the details, so I want my drill through to work at a product name level. So I moved this column in my drill through area section. Okay, so that's how I created this drill through page and I've moved some information to it. You can add even charts to here, trend lines at a product level and other stuff as well, because this is like a detailed level view of a product, right? So you can do it that way as well. So that's the only condition you have, like that's the only prerequisite you need to do before creating that drill through button. So once you create that, then you can create a drill through button. Now how we create a drill through button is go to insert, again, go to buttons. I'll create a blank button again. And what we'll do is under format button options, again, go to action. And there's something called different types of buttons, right? Now, in my case, I want to create a drill through button. OK, before that, let me do one thing. OK, so first thing I'll do is I want to add a text to my button first. OK, and in my case, the text will be click here to view product level details. OK, that's my button text because I want a functionality to click on this button so that it shows me information related to the product name selected here, right? So what I'll do is just give it a little more color and yeah, some formatting. Cool. So this is my button and even the outline. OK, and what I'll do is I'll also choose a shape for my button. That is a chevron arrow. OK, so this is basically my button. Now I want to make this button a drill through button. So when I click on the button, go to action, select the type of action, which is drill through. If you see, the moment I select drill through, the button will get disabled. So currently it is in enabled state, but it is not doing anything. But when I click on it as a drill through, it gets disabled. So basically this background behind it just shows it is disabled, so it won't be able to do anything. The reason is a drill through button can only be invoked when a particular data point is selected on that report page. Now, if you remember, we have got a drill through page at a product name level, right? So if I select this button, if I select a product name, currently nothing is happening. The reason is I forgot to do something. When I created this button as a drill through button, I created it as a drill through, but I forgot to give a destination. So in my case, my destination is product details because I want to select a product name and drill through its details. So I'll select product name. And in my case, I'm not going with the tooltips because my label or text on the button is self-explanatory. Now let's see. If I click on a product name point here, the button gets enabled. So that's the only thing. A drill through button only gets enabled when there's some data point selected on your report page, which links to further down to a drill through page, which has been defined as a destination in this button. So now when I clicked on HL mountain frame, and now when I click on this button, it will take me to my product details page and it will give me details around that particular product. So you can see this product has got all these different variations, 10 different variations, and the color along those different variation products. Then you can see other information like standard cost, list price, weight, days to manufacture, etc. And obviously, whenever you create a drill through button, a back button get created by itself. You don't need to create it. So you click on this, it will take you to the source page from where you went to that drill through. Now, suppose if I want to select something else like LL mountain frame product, I can click on that and see the information regarding that particular product as well. So that's how you create a drill through button in Power BI. But there is one thing here which I really want to point out, like few months back when modern visual tooltip came into, picture, then you really don't need this drill through button because there are few things which are self-explanatory using the modern visual tooltip. So I'll take you through that as well at the end of the session, how that can be used and how you can avoid creating this scenario basically. Okay, so that's the simple drill through button creation in Power BI. Now we'll be moving to some advanced thing, how we create a conditional drill through. So any questions so far, guys, because now it will be a different advanced topic thing. Can we multi-select to drill through? No, drill through only works on a single data point selection. So now you can't do a multi-select. OK, so now the next thing is conditional drill through. Now conditional drill through is something like this. So what a conditional drill through will be, suppose on our same report page, you have got two different charts. So one shows total cost by product color and one shows total cost by product name. But I really want to give user to, two kind of different drill throughs on the same page. OK, so for that, I really want user to select, OK, what he really wants to do. So for example, if I select red color here and user wants to, obviously user has selected red color, some products got highlighted, but user want to see some drill through at a color detail level. OK, so for the red color. So what he can do is select color details and then on the button on the right, the text changes by itself. So for example, if I click on product details, it's product details. If I click on color details, it is color details. Now for the color details, the button is enabled because I've selected that data point in one of the charts on this report page. And if I click on that, it will take me to some color level detail, like color level detail of the red color, like what all products are under this category of color and different information around them. And similarly, if user wants to view some information at a product level. So for example, user selects a product and now he wants to see some product level information. The product level button gets enabled because the product is data point is selected in one of the charts. So if you go there, it will show you product level details. Now, first thing, the prerequisite for this information, obviously, we need two drill through charts because we want to show two informations or we want to give user two different kind of drill throughs on the same page, right? So we need at product name level and one is at color detail. So I've already created those page. So let me go back to the report. So I've already created these drill through page here. You can see one is at product name level and one is at color level. Now for the conditional drill through, I'll just copy paste the charts from there, guys, rather than creating them again. So I'll just copy these two charts from the other report to my main report. OK, cool. So these are the charts. Now, how do we get that, slicer kind of thing which I showed you? So you remember this is a slicer. So how do we get that and give user that ability, to do the selection within the slicer to the type of drill through they want to do? So for that, we create a disconnected table, basically. OK, so what disconnected table is? It's a simple table which has just got one column in it. So I created a table called user input drill through, and it has just got one column as input. And that input has got product details and color details name. Now, this product details and color details is actually the name of the drill through tabs that you created. So make sure the names here, the values here should be exactly same to the name of the tabs you have created. So if we go to there and see our other tabs, you can see one is product details and one is color details. And I have got the same names here. So if you mess around with the naming here, this thing will not work. OK, so make sure the name of your tab is exactly same to what you're putting in this, user input drill through table. So for that, yeah, first thing you need to create a disconnected table with the names of your drill through tabs. And once that is there, what we can do is we can create a slicer. And in this slicer, what I'll do is I'll move this input value. OK, now drill through buttons, as I said, drill through buttons can only be activated by a selection of single data point. So make sure your slicer is single selection. Right, because you select a data point, and that can only lead you to that can only lead you to a single page, right? You can't navigate to multiple page in one step, right? So make sure this slicer is a single selection, because this will only be able to take you to a single destination. OK, so that's the slicer we have got. Now, the way we want to implement this is we have to create a drill through button that has a text based on the selection of what is in the slicer. I mean, whatever is selected in the slicer, and that gets enabled based on the selection here and a data point selected in the charts above. So what we'll do is simply we'll go there, create a simple button. Again, we create a blank button. We go to its format button options. OK, now under text. Now, so far we gave a static text to our buttons, right? But in this case, what I really want is I want my text to be dynamic. So dynamic in the case, whatever I select in the slicer should populate as a text in my button. So for that, what I'll do, there's something called function. Click on that. Then it will open a new window. OK, once you click on that, it asks you to select a field like based on what you want that text value to be dynamic. So in my case, it is this table, this column, and summarization for me first works because my slicer is a single selection. So whatever I'll select there will be populated in my button text. So I'll hit OK and see I have selected color details. So it's showing color details here. Let me just make this a little bigger. OK, and if I select product details, it shows me product details, right? So our text is sorted here, basically. OK, so our button shows it that way. So the next thing what we need to do is just give it a color, better color. And I'll also choose a shape here. You can choose whatever shape you want. I really like this chevron arrow shape, so I tend to use it especially on these kind of buttons where you're submitting information. OK, now, as I mentioned before, to create a drill through button, we need to enable a drill through kind of action. So again, click on the button, go to action. Now the type here will be drill through. OK, as I selected drill through, it got disabled. Now, for the previous scenario, our destination was a single page, right? But now in this case, our destination needs to be driven by the selection in this slicer, right? So for that, what I want this destination on the page should be dynamic, right? Based on this selection. So what I'll do is, again, you can see a function icon here. Click on that. And for your destination, select the same column which is in the slicer. So select that and click OK. So now your destination will be dynamic based on what you select here. Let's try it, whether it's working or not. Suppose if I select red color here, and obviously I want to, when I selected red color, my button got enabled, OK, because its destination is driven by what is selected here. OK, but suppose if I select product details, my button gets disabled because I haven't selected a product detail data point, right? So let's start with the color detail first. So I click on red color. I want to see color details. I click on color details in my slicer. My button text shows color details dynamically. And if I click on it, it will take me to the color details drill through page, right? And it shows me all the details around the red color, what all products have got red color, and so information. Now, if I go back to the page, and now suppose if I click on one of the products, OK, and if I click on the product details here, my product details button gets enabled because I've selected a product data point. Or let's see it this way as well. I select product details. My button shows me text product details, but it is still disabled because it will only get enabled when I select a data point against product name. So if I select a data point at product name, then my button gets enabled, right? And if I click on it, it will take me to product details page where it shows me all the details regarding the product I selected. So this is touring product. It has got 22 different variants, the colors associated with its variant, and all the different kind of information. And then from here, so that's how you can give user a kind of, functionality where he has got a control over, selecting what drill through he really wants to see. Because obviously, when we create these Power BI reports, a single report page doesn't have one chart, right? We have got multiple charts. So user can, ask you to create multiple drill through based on the different data points they select within that same report page. So this kind of scenario be really helpful in those cases. Just create a disconnected table, use it as a slicer, and even within the button to define dynamic text and dynamic destination as a drill through for the drill through pages. So that's what conditional drill through is. Any question here, guys? Okay. Augustine, do we have more time, or or do we need to hard stop at 5:30?
No, we have time until 7.
Okay, okay, not till 7, but yeah, I'll at least need more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I'm going a little slow today, but yeah, okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I can use 15 minutes more then.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So now the next scenario. Okay, I think there are a few questions, guys, but let me just cover 2 more scenarios and then I can take up the question. So give me just a few more minutes, okay? Okay, so now if we go back to the deck, after seeing the conditional drill through functionality using user input, the next thing what we need to see is if we can create a simple page navigation using buttons, which is followed by a conditional page navigation using user input. Okay, so we start with a basic page navigation and then we switch to an advanced technique of creating conditional page navigation. I know most of you might be already knowing how to do this, but let's just do it again. Now, simple page navigation. Now, page navigation can be really helpful in the scenarios. So where you are actually, trying to represent different kind of information for which not all users are interested in viewing. So how you tackle that kind of stuff. So for example, you have a home page. So basically you create a home page, you list down all the different analysis that you have done on different tabs in your report. And then you give user a choice like to whichever analysis you want to see, you can see, you don't have to view everything else, right? So for that, we can use a simple page navigation in Power BI. So how we'll do that is, so I'll create a kind of home page here, okay? And on that home page, I'll create different buttons. And when we click on those buttons, they lead us to different, report pages on our Power BI report, okay? So for that, let's just do a few simple things. Let's create a text box first. Okay, and I'll name it homepage. And I'll just give it few formattings so it just looks like it's a home page, and we'll make it a little bigger. And I'll just drag it at the top. And also align it at center, and I'll just give it a background as well. So the background here will be, no, not yellow for sure. Let's give it blue. Okay, perfect. So this is like kind of a homepage banner. You can actually beautify it more. I know there are people more creative than me in the audience. So yeah, you can do it however you want. Now, the only thing what I'll do here is I'll create different buttons which will lead us to, different pages for navigation. So for that, what we'll do, simple, go to insert, click create some buttons. So we'll go with the blank again. But yeah, happy for you guys to do however you like it to be. I just like to start with a blank button and then give it formatting options. But yeah, if you're already sure how you want it to do, then you can do it in the starting. Now, how I want this functionality to be. Now, the first button, I want user to go to the toggle functionality. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll first give this a white color. So I'll give it a text to my button. And what it will have is toggle chart type. Obviously, in the real world scenario, you have different report informations, like, for example, summary or overview. Then you have like information by region. Then the other way you can have information by product. So those could be the different report pages you want user to give a navigation from here. So you can use these buttons the way you want, but I'm just trying to show the functionality. So I'll just use the functionality based on the tabs which I've already created. So just give them a little bigger font size. Yeah, so that's what my toggle chart type button is. OK, and the second button, what I'll create is I'll just copy the same button and just change its text. The second one will be dynamic. This functionality. OK, spellings are right. Cool. So these are the ones, and yeah, if you want to change them, you can yeah, change the shape if you want. Like I generally like these ones, but yeah, you can choose whatever shape you want, and we can make them a little bigger as well, so they are aligned. And what we can, again, one more thing, just align them to the middle of the page if you really want them, or if you're trying to put them on the right or left. So it depends on you, but I'll just put them that way. Now the simple page navigation, you don't need to create any bookmarks. OK, it's quite straightforward in Power BI. Just click on your button, go to the action, same way, because we want to define action, right? Now this button is a page navigation. So there's something called page navigation type. Click on page navigation. In my case, it's asking me a destination. Now we'll look into this conditional one just after this. OK, so let's do the static one first. Now I want this button to take me to toggle chart type functionality. So I click on that. And yeah, if you want, you can give a tooltip here, like click here to view toggle functionality. And I'll just copy this so I can use it for the other button as well. Cool. So that's the first one. Then the dynamic x-axis functionality, again, click on the button, format button option opens, enable the action, select the page navigation type action, and your destination will be dynamic x-axis functionality, and give a tooltip. OK, so this will be dynamic x-axis. OK, cool. So, OK, so we have got that. So now when you hover over this, you see your tool, click here to view toggle functionality. And if you hover over it, you see click here to view dynamic x-axis functionality. Now let's just test them. So if you click on this, this should take you to the toggle chart type functionality tab. So let's click on this. It takes us there, right? So our navigation has been set right. So you can do the stuff here. Now, how you go back? We don't have a back button. Don't worry. The simplest thing to do in Power BI is create a back button directly. OK, you don't need to configure anything. It just creates it by itself. You can give it some coloring and other stuff if you really want to give. But yeah, I'll just make it white. OK, now this back button is by default, configured in Power BI to take you to the source page from which you landed here. So if you click on this, it should take us to the home page. Click on it. It takes us to home page. Simple. So you don't need to create a back button. Basically, it's already given for you in Power BI. Similarly, let's test the dynamic x-axis functionality. Click on the button. It takes us to dynamic x-axis functionality. So you can see. Now, again, we don't have a back button here, right? So simply insert a back button. Right? This is the easiest thing you can do in Power BI, I would say, because we don't need to do anything, right? Just click and done. So if we click on here, homepage. So that's the simple homepage kind of navigation you can give to the users. And obviously, this homepage needs to be the first page of your report, and you can basically hide all the other pages. So user has only capability to, view things from the homepage rather than going to the other tabs by clicking on them. So you can easily hide the pages, like, for example, right click on a page and hide it, right? So you can do it that way. OK. So that's the simple page navigation. I think most of you must be knowing it. But yeah, let's go to the conditional page navigation. Now for the conditional page navigation, what we'll be doing is something like this. So for example, again, I have got a button. Okay, and I just want to give user a capability on, okay, whatever page they click on, that button helps them to navigate to that page. I know most of you might have already understood how we'll do it, but let's just do it. Okay. So for that, first thing, again, we create a disconnected table. Okay, because I want user to take some input from, give some input from a slicer or filter, right? So for that, I created again a user action table. And what this user action table has got, it has got names of all the tabs I've got on my report. Okay, again, when I say names of all the tabs on the report, make sure they're exactly same to what you have got here. Okay, because if they're not same, it won't work. So make sure all the names you have given here are exactly same in your table. Okay, so once you create this table, again, we create a slicer. So this is a slicer, and I'll move my user input action column here so I can see all the values there. And what I'll do is, again, it should be a single selection. I mean, it is logical why it needs to be a single selection, because you can't navigate to 2 pages on a single time, right? You can only navigate to 1 destination at a single time. So this will always be a single selection. Okay, and we'll just make these a little bigger. And yeah, I'll just make them white color. Okay, that's fine. I think everyone should be able to see it. Cool. So that's a slicer. Okay. Now we again need a button which should dynamically navigate to pages based on the slicer selection here. Okay. So simply we go to insert, we create a button. Let's create a blank button again. And we just make it little, let's give it a shape of, again, my favorite chevron arrow, and we'll just give it a proper coloring. Now, again, now the text of the button should be dynamic based on what I'm selecting in the slicer. So enable the text. Again, same thing, click on the function icon. And we just select the column from the disconnected table. So in this case, it is user action. We select it. And by default, obviously, it's giving conditional drill through because it is selected. Let's just give it a proper formatting. Cool. So that's the button. Now, if I select anything here, my text changes, right? So if I selected anything in my slicer, based on that, my text is changing. Cool. Now, the only step remaining for us is create the dynamic page navigation action on this button. So click on your button. And we go to action and enable it. Click on that. And again, the type is page navigation, right? But our destination in this is not static. It needs to be driven by the selection in the slicer. So again, we click on this function. And same thing, we select the user action column, which is basically used in the slicer here. Okay, and click OK. Now, let's see if this works. So if I select product summary, my text changes to product summary. And if I click on it, it should actually navigate me to the product summary page. So let's see if it works. So I click on it. OK, it takes me to product summary page. Bingo. So I click on this. I can do some stuff here. Come back to my product details or product summary page now. How I go to my conditional drill through page. Same thing. We add a back button quickly there. OK. So this back button will again take us to the source from where we landed to this page. So we just click on this button. Now it should take us to the conditional drill through thing. So see, we are back there, right? Similarly, if I click on conditional drill through and the text changes to conditional drill through, if I click on it, it should take me to this tab. So yeah, it brings me to conditional drill through tab. Similarly, I haven't got a back button here. So yeah, I can again go and create a back button there, right? And if I click on it, it will again take me back. So yeah, this is basically, a simple way of achieving dynamic page navigation using different kinds of, I would say it's more around creating a disconnected table and just using it in the right way to add that dynamic functionality to your button. So that's the dynamic functionality. conditional page dynamic functionality. Now, the only thing remaining is bookmark, slideshow, and modern visual tooltips. Okay, this will not take more than 5 minutes. Let's just do it. Now, in the bookmark pane, there is something called view here, okay? Now, when this bookmark slideshow can be helpful. Suppose you have a report where you end up like more than 10 or 12 bookmarks, and now you and someone else owns, takes over your report, and now he really wants to understand what's there in this report. Are there any bookmarks? If there are, then in what order they were created, and all those things. Then this slideshow can really give you that level of insight, like, okay, when this bookmark, in what order those bookmarks were created and on what pages these bookmarks are linked to. So this slideshow really helps in doing knowing that. So if you click on this view icon here, then at the bottom you see a different, navigation bar, right? And the first thing it shows me is bar chart. Now, if you remember, we started with this chart type toggle functionality scenario, and the first bookmark we created was bar chart, right? So that's why it is showing me that, okay, this is the first bookmark that was created on the report. Now, if I go further, if I click on this next, it tells me the next bookmark you created by line chart and the action attached to that bookmark. So what it is doing is showing me a line chart, right? Again, I go further. My third bookmark was pie chart, and its action was to show me a pie chart. If I go further down, it takes me to a different tab because I created a new bookmark by color on a new tab. And what it does is shows me total cost by color. And if I go again, it shows me by product name. It shows me total cost by product name. So that's how you can see what all bookmarks are created on a particular report you have been working with or someone else is working it. Okay, and also in what order you have created that. I kind of really find it really useful when I end up creating a lot of bookmarks and don't remember everything. So I can just, freshen up things like how I've created these bookmarks, on what tabs, what they are doing, and in what order. And yeah, if you hit this exit, the bottom bar will go, or you can close from here, or you can hit the exit from here. So that bottom bar goes. So that's like a simple, it's a small functionality, but sometimes this is a really big thing. That can really help you in a big way. So I really like to show it whenever I'm showing something with button bookmarks. Okay, now the only thing remaining is modern visual tooltips. Cool. So in Power BI, now modern visual tooltips just came out some months back, but I really like to show it because how it has, eased out things for the users while navigating through the reports. Okay, so first thing you do is you need to enable that functionality. So for that, go to options and settings, options. Under preview features, you just need to check this modern visual tooltip functionality. Okay, and the last thing and the one other thing what you can do is just go to report settings and just check this button as well, because what happens is modern visual tooltip comes up with an option in a small text box or something. So if you enable this button, it just takes on the report theme colors basically. Okay, so it's important for you to do it. So, it just doesn't look out of the way. And then just click OK. Okay, now what modern functional tooltip can do? Let me take you to some chart. Okay, so we have got one chart here where we had some information represented at color level and at product name level. Now suppose, now we already know we have got two drill through pages at color level and one is at product name level, right? Now suppose if I hover over yellow color, can you see that drill through icon just came up? This is because of the modern visual functionality. So basically, now you don't need to create this product detail or drill through button until and unless you really need to do something else or provide some different kind of functionality to users. The users can just hover over the color, and if our drill through page exists at that granularity, it will just give you that option. So you just click on that, it will take you to color details for that black color, right? Now, if we go back, same thing you can do for the product name. So you are basically not selecting a data point, right? Earlier, what we were doing, we were selecting a data point and then doing another selection or another click to go to that page. But now this thing has really resolved that stuff. You don't need to click twice. Just hover over your data point. If there's a drill through page at that data point level, then modern visual tooltip just shows you drill through. Oh, sorry. yeah, it will show you a drill through. You can just click on it and it will show you a detail at that product name level. So that's one thing what modern Visual Tooltip has, done for us. And the other thing is, let me go to this chart. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just copy this chart on a new tab. Okay, and what I have got here is, I'll just move my whole date hierarchy there because there's another thing what I really want to show you, how modern Visual Tooltip has eased out things. And what we'll do is, okay, this is the one. Okay, so this is my chart and let me just keep it at year level. Okay, now those who have worked with Power BI, they already know like these are the icons which can, help you expand one level down in the hierarchy or, go up the hierarchy. But suppose if there are new users and they don't know how these icons work and they're just looking at the information by hovering over this stuff. Now see, if I click on this, you can see there's an icon that appeared saying drill down. Okay, and it is pretty intuitive to me. I mean, if I'm a new user, that drill down will always, make me curious about clicking on that. And if I click on that, it takes me to a quarter level hierarchy. Now, let's again hover quarter. Now, at a quarter level, it shows you two different icons. I mean, two different capabilities. One is drill up and one is drill down, because obviously from quarter, you can drill up to year level hierarchy, but you can drill down to a month level hierarchy. Let's go down. Click on drill down and it takes you to month level hierarchy. Again, you get a drill down at a month level because you can go to a day level. So that's the day level hierarchy. And if you click above again, it will ask you to go up. So that's like, I mean, this is like a very much, I would say, amazing feature for me from user point of view, because if users are new to your reports and they're still viewing information at different granularities, and if there's a hierarchy, they can easily understand things by just hovering over like what they really can do on this chart. So this is like something very important, I would say. So I mean, if you guys are really, developing some new reports, then do give users this modern Visual Tooltip functionality. And especially if you have got new users who are just getting to start using Power BI, this can really help them. And obviously it's pretty intuitive, right? So you don't have to like spend hours on like small things to teach or train your users. They are pretty intuitive. They can easily understand what it is about, and they can play around with it, like drill up and drill down stuff, and even drill through what we just saw. So yeah. Okay, so I think, guys, that's what I really wanted to cover today. And yeah, I mean, let's go back if there are any questions. Okay. Okay, do you have any YouTube page? Okay, guys, I don't have a YouTube page, but maybe in future I'll get a YouTube page. But yeah, I do have my blog website where I try to, put some kind of tips and tricks. So I'm not like a blog writer who writes on a topic in detail. I'm more like a person who just writes on different tips and tricks or challenges I face while, creating these reports. So yeah, I've got my blog there, and yeah, thanks Augustine for putting that blog link there. So yeah, you guys can easily, I mean, yeah, there are a few tips and tricks. You can definitely go back and check things. If you think they are not right or there can be improvements on them, do come back to me, because I really like to discuss things and new solutions. So yeah, so I really don't know from where the questions are starting, but if Augustine, you can even help me where
lots of questions are answered actually during the people by themselves.
Oh, cool. Then that's great. So I don't need to do that extra effort.
We have actually these three nows now from Ajay. So yeah.
Okay, so in drill through functionality, we need common columns in both pages, source and destination. Obviously, because you are drilling through at a particular granularity, right? So like we saw in our case, we were trying to drill through at a product level, right? So if you don't have a page at a product name level, so I created a product details page, which is at a product name level. That's why when I click on it, it will allow me to see that information. So if I don't see that information,
Sorry.
I mean, if I don't have that page at that granularity, I mean, at product name, I won't be able to drill through. So yeah, you need a drill through page at the same level you want that information to be viewed.
I think regarding that, there was another question. How do we create the detailed page?
Oh, the drill through page. OK, let's create it. OK, let's create a new page. And what we'll do is what level? Let's create a product detail page. OK, so for that, now I want to create. I'll just close these icons. They are just taking a lot of space on my screen. OK. So now if I want to create a product detail page, I want my information to be shown at a detailed level, at a product name level. OK, detail level for a product name. So for that, first thing what you do is just add a new tab, as I just did. Let's start. Add a new tab in Power BI. Bring in the granular column name basically. So in my case, it is product name under the drill through section. OK. So as you bring, because see, when you don't have anything here, when you don't have anything here, there's a statement saying add drill through fields here. OK, so we bring in the product name to the drill through section. As soon as you bring something in the drill through section, a back button gets created by itself because Power BI understands that you're going to drill through this page at a product level. So you always need a back button to go back to your source page as well. So it created a back button by itself. OK, now in my case, now there are two things when you create a drill through page. You can either create it only at a product name level, or you can create it at multiple column level. Now, what I mean by multiple column level is suppose if OK, let's just create one table. Let's just copy this to the same page rather than creating it again. OK, now this is a detailed view of a product. OK, and here what I want is, yeah, everything is at a product name level. And what I'll do is I'll create a source page again. Now in my source page, what I have is I'll just create a simple table. And what I'll do is I'll just give product names here, OK, rather than putting any details. So this is my product name. Now what I want is I want to drill through from this page. Now suppose if I drill through from this page to my product details. Now why my product OK, now there are two pages you can see. OK, so we already had a product details page at product name level, and then I created a new page. Let's just rename it as new product details. OK, and the other page what we had, let's just rename it as a source page from where we'll navigate to the detailed view of a product, right? So what I'll do is I'm just using the basic one. Now see, I've got two pages, but let's go to the new page that we created, new product details. So if I click on that, it shows me information only for the HL mountain frame. And you can see here the informations are updated. It's only selecting HL mountain frame, which I drilled through into. OK, now second scenario. Suppose in this table, I have got a color for my product. OK, and just to make things easier, let's sort them by product name. OK, so now you can see HL mountain frame has got two different colors. Now, if I drill through to my new page, new product details page, and click on it, it will show me information at a product name HL mountain frame for the only black color. OK, now why only for black color? Because I drill through or right click for drill through on the row which had black color in it. If I click on silver, it will show me HL mountain frame for silver color. The reason I have got this keep all filters on. So whatever things I have coming from my source page, they are taken as filter on my product detail page, and the information is shown based on that. Now suppose if I switch off this keep all filters, OK, go to source product. And if I again go to HL mountain frame with silver color in the row, go to drill through, it will only show me information at HL mountain frame, irrespective of what all different colors it has got. So So it's up to you how you want your information to be granular. I mean, at what granularity you really want your information. Do you really want that information to be granular at all the information shown there or just the product name? So if you just want it at product name, make sure whenever you are creating drill through, keep all filters should be off. But if you really want information at everything what you have got on your source page, then you can keep all filters. So whenever you come there, it will show you information at both the data points which are in that row. So like here, it shows you information for product, HL mount and frame, for color, silver. So that's how you can create like a drill through page in 2 ways based on your requirement, basically. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. Can we say drill through and navigation is similar to set and parameter action of Tableau? I'm trying to relate and learn. Okay, Tableau. My limited knowledge in Tableau won't allow me to answer it. But yeah, if anyone is expert in Tableau, then they can go ahead and answer, because in Tableau, I have used parameter in the same way we use it in Power BI, just to, play around with the measures by setting up different, configurations or selections. But I have never used parameters for navigating in Tableau. But yeah, apologies, I'm actually not an expert in Tableau. But happy for anyone else to answer if they have worked with Tableau there. Can you recommend any Power BI? Yeah, go on. Yeah.
In Tableau, one can just drag the fields under the category under subcategory, so that can be just dragged there and the drill through happens. So,
but category to subcategory is more drill down or drill up. It's not drill through.
Category. Just have to drag where the tables are kept on the left-hand side. That's
okay,
it.
so sorry. I'll again say not an expert in Tableau, so not sure. But yeah. There were a few more questions on that tab. Is in drill through we need to implement relationship between both tables and that relationships? Okay. Who asked this question? Ajay. What do you mean by second step in drill through? You can just unmute yourself and ask your question. I mean, what do you mean by the second point, what you mentioned? In drill through, we need to implement relationship between both tables, and that relationship is required active.
Yeah, actually, I want to know in a model view, we are creating the relationship. So that relationship we require it active for the drill through purpose, or shall we ignore on that part?
So it completely depends if your drill through is created from a single table or from multiple tables. So in my case, my drill through got created everything from a single table, so I didn't need to relate it to any other table. But suppose if you have got a scenario where you've got 2 tables, and for example, you're trying to represent information from both the tables and trying to show that information on your drill through page, then obviously to bring it together, you need to have a relationship between the tables.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Cool. And is it possible to send us PBIX? Yeah, definitely. I'll email this PBIX, which I just did in front of you, to Augustine. And Augustine, I'm sure there should be a way of sharing it on the meetup group.
Yeah, we can share it on a meetup page, and anybody interested can download it from there.
Okay. And I think one more thing what I saw is, can you recommend any Power BI books for new users, or would you recommend learning DAX first? Good question. Okay, DAX, guys, DAX should be your next thing. In my suggestion, you should first get yourself familiarized with, what Power BI is, how you can use it, because DAX is something could be a second step to learn. Because DAX is more around creating add-on calculations on top of your data model, what you bring in Power BI. So I would never say start with DAX if you don't know Power BI. First, just explore Power BI. And yeah, if you really want to start with Power BI, there are pretty good blogs out there. So like I started with Power BI just with Microsoft documentation 6 years back. I just started learning by that because I don't think there were very good blogs at that time on Power BI. But now you see there are so many blogs by amazing people out there. So I think MySQL tips is there. And then There are so many. I mean, I can actually share a link. I've even got a Power BI resource blog on my LinkedIn profile. So if any of you guys go to my profile, there's a Power BI blog which is linked at the top on my profile, which shows top 10 or top 12 Power BI resources I think are really good for someone to get started with Power BI. So you can see that. And yeah, someone just mentioned Definitive Guide to DAX. Yeah, Definitive Guide to DAX is really a good book, but I would say first get used to what DAX is by writing basic DAX, because I have seen some people who really found this Definitive Guide to DAX by Marco and Russo a little next level kind of book. So if you're new to DAX, I would say just learn online or, through Microsoft Docs, like how to write the basic DAX, and then you can switch on to this book, because this book is pretty amazing, I would say. But I would do say, refer it as a second step on DAX as well. Okay, any more questions, guys? Then.
Yeah, as Augustine already posted there was a question regarding the recording. Yeah, it will be available on the YouTube channel, and you can watch it afterwards.
Cool. And yeah, if you can give me a minute, I can share that Power BI resources link. I mean, obviously that Power BI resources can be different for everyone, but I really find those resources interesting. If you can just give me a minute, I'll show you. Oh, where's that link? Yes, so this is something I myself refer these blogs. It's not just like I don't refer them. I refer them and I find them useful. So if any of you guys really want to get started with Power BI, then they can. And obviously, guys, if anyone else wants to add to those Power BI resources, then yeah, you're happy to add, because there are so many amazing blogs out there and people share a lot of knowledge. So yeah, everyone can have a different list of top sources.
Okay, there's no more questions. Then, first of all, let me say thank you as well, Pragati, for this interesting session. I think it's a lot of useful tips for everyone. And yeah, thanks for making the time and sharing your knowledge with us.
And thanks, Christian. I mean, it was amazing, and especially I really like to interact with people. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to do so and share whatever I can with the people. And I'll be glad if that can help anyone in a little way as well. So yeah, thanks for inviting me here.
Yeah, thanks a lot. For everyone else, Augustine mentioned in the beginning, the next sessions or the next weeks are fully packed, full of sessions. So if you found this to be useful and interesting, you don't want to miss out on our next sessions as well. So next week, same time, we have the Dataverse and Power BI, and the following week, working with Power BI live data sets and data flows. If you're not already subscribed to the meetup, just join the meetup group and you get some information there. And of course, also the links to the recordings and the PBIX file will be posted there. Thanks everyone for taking the time, and hope to see you next week.
Yeah, thanks everyone. And yeah, if the only last thing, if anyone of you guys just forgot to ask questions or some questions come up after after this meetup, then yeah, you can reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer anything. And yeah, I'll email you this Power BI file, Augustine, so you can share it on the meetup group with the audience.
Thanks very much.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.